Alright, welcome back to the Roblox course, and in this lecture, we're gonna create a conveyor belt. Right, so first things first, we're gonna create a new part, and we're gonna situate this at the bottom of the base plate. I'm gonna move it around a little bit and actually scale it like this. So now it is size 26 in the Z direction, 4 in, let's make it 2. Nah, let's make it 3, let's say. And then only let's say 0.25, so very flat in the Y direction. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that it hovers over the ground a little bit, so by 0.5 right now. And we're gonna make sure that it is anchored. Because next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna call this conveyor. That is not how you write conveyor. Right. This is how you write conveyor, of course. There you go. And the idea here is that once we also need a service script, which we're gonna call, let's also call this conveyor, just for the sake of argument right now. And we're gonna call this, however, this is gonna be the velocity, because we're gonna use the velocity to basically create this conveyor belt. So I'm gonna say we'll call this the conveyor, and that's gonna be game.workspace.conveyor. And then we're gonna just say conveyor.velocity equals to, and this is once again a new vector, vector3.new. It's gonna be 800. So very important that the default walking speed in this case would be 16. So when we stand on this, we're gonna be pushed, let's say, in one direction, in the X direction. So actually, we don't want it into the X direction. We actually want it into the Z direction, because we've laid it out into the Z direction. So let's try it like this and see what happens. So in theory, everything should work. What is very important is that the part is not that is anchored. So let's see what happens. And there we go. We actually just drive through this. And then if we run into this direction, as you can see, we basically have half the speed we usually have. And if we go into this direction, we're going super speed. So this is basically a very easy way to sort of build a conveyor belt. Now, if we put this to, let's say, 16 speed, then what happens is we basically made a treadmill that we can work out on. So let's see. So in this direction, we're gonna be really fast, just as fast as walking. And now in this direction, we're actually not making progress, as you can see. So if I go on here and I'm walking, I'm running as fast as I can, and I'm not moving. So because the movement speed is exactly the same as my walking speed. And yeah, so that's and of course you can make it ridiculous, right? So you could do something like this, and then we're gonna be thrown. let's just see what happens. I mean, why not, right? Well, let's just have some fun. Let's see. Woo! So that's really fast. So this could be, for example, a way to get around some, in the cities, for example, conveyor belting everywhere, right? So this is basically the way to create a conveyor belt. Now, important that the part is set to anchored, right? This is very important. Now, we've already set this, let's say, manually. It makes sense that if you want to create a conveyor belt, part, that you maybe set it, explicitly once again here in the script, just so you're sure. I also want to mention one other thing. If we hover over the velocity here, it says that it is not recommended to be modified directly unless there is a good reason. Now, usually what happens with the velocity is that when we apply a force to an object, so you could think of that as, for example, if we throw an object, then the velocity basically tells us, okay, in what direction is it moving and how fast is it moving in that direction. Now, we've basically, however, used this velocity right now to create this conveyor belt. This is simply something that can be done with Roblox Studio in this case. And yeah, so this is just a fun thing to play around with, basically. So yeah, I hope that was kind of funny and helpful for you to play around with a little bit. I would really appreciate a review or a rating from you if that is something that you would give. And once again, of course, I will always be available for questions if there are any. And yeah,